Alright folks, we're diving into the absolute mess that's unfolding between South Africa and the United States under Donald Trump's administration. If you thought the ANC's failures couldn't get any worse, well, hold on to your hats. Because the United States is coming for us with aid cuts, crippling tariffs, and the looming threat of sanctions against our so-called leaders. It's a proper shambles. How did we get here? Can South Africa survive this economic gut punch? And what's the deal with Ramaphosa cozying up to Putin while Russian Navy ships are sighted off Cape Town's coast? Let's unpack this. So here is South Africa, a nation already staggering under the weight of corruption, crime, and an ANC government that's been fleecing the public for decades, now finds itself in the crosshairs of Trump's America. The man's back in the White House, and he's not playing nice. As of August 1st, 2025, a 30% tariff has been slapped on South African imports to the US, the only sub-Saharan African country singled out for this economic smackdown. Why? Because Trump's got a bee in his bonnet about South Africa's land expropriation laws and what he calls discrimination against the white minority. But let's not kid ourselves. The ANC's bungling of land reform, with its vague promises and shoddy execution, gave Trump the perfect excuse to swing his tariff hammer. And swing it he did, cutting off all US aid to South Africa to boot, accusing the ANC of human rights violations. The US, our second biggest trading partner after China, has yanked duty-free access under the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA, leaving our citrus farmers, textile workers, and car manufacturers in the lurch. Jobs are on the line, tens of thousands of them, with estimates suggesting 35,000 alone in citrus industry could vanish. It's a disaster, plain and simple. So, what's the ANC's game plan now that the US has turned the screws? Are they scrambling to fix this mess, or are they just twiddling their thumbs? From what's out there, it seems Ramaphosa's trying to play the diplomat, but it's a bit like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. On August 6, 2025, he had a phone call with Trump supposedly to talk trade. Did it help? Not a jot. The tariffs are in effect, and South Africa's bleeding jobs and revenue. Ramaphosa's response was to bang on about how the 30% tariff isn't an accurate representation of trade data, pointing out that over half of SA's imports from the US are duty-free, and the rest face an average tariff of 7.6%. Fair point, but mate, crying foul after the fact doesn't undo the damage. The US is our second biggest trading partner, with 250 billion rands in exports at stake annually. Losing that market, or even a chunk of it, isn't just a slap on the wrist, it's a body blow to an economy already on its knees. But here's where it gets juicy. Right after chatting with Trump, Ramaphosa picks up the phone to Vladimir Putin. Coincidence? I think not. And then, to top it all off, a Russian Navy training ship is spotted off the coast of Cape Town. What's going on here? Are we pivoting to Moscow because Washington's given us the cold shoulder? The ANC's been cozying up to Russia for years, part of their BRICS bromance, but this feels like a desperate move. South Africa's already walking a tightrope. Sanctions from the West could tank our economy further. And Putin's not exactly known for his charity. The Russian Navy's presence isn't just a flex. It's a signal that the ANC might be hedging its bets, looking for new allies to offset the US fallout. But let's be real, trading one superpower for another isn't freedom, it's just swapping one set of chains for another. And with Putin's track record, do we really think he's got South Africa's best interests at heart? Come on, people, wake up. So, can South Africa survive without the US? That's the million-rand question, isn't it? The short answer is, it'll be bloody tough, but it's not impossible. The trick is finding alternatives, and fast. China's a big player, our top trading partner, with 450 billion rands in trade annually. They're hungry for our minerals, and there's talk of expanding citrus exports to their markets. India's another option. They're keen on our coal and agricultural goods, though their red tape and high tariffs make it a slog. The EU's still a major partner too, taking about 20% of our exports, but their strict regulations on things like citrus black spot mean we can't just flood their markets overnight. Then there's the rest of Africa. Nigeria, Kenya, and Ghana are growing economies, but intra-African trade is a nightmare thanks to logistics and tariffs. The African Continental Free Trade Area could help, but it's still a work in progress, with only 17% of our exports going to the continent. The reality? Diversifying trade takes time, money, and competence, three things the ANC's been short on for years. What's the ANC thinking? If you ask me, they're in panic mode but trying to save face. Ramaphosa's out here talking up diplomatic efforts and mutually beneficial trade agreements, but it's all hot air. The ANC wasted a 90-day grace period to negotiate with the US, doing bugger all while the tariffs loomed. AfriForum, that Afrikaner lobby group, saying the ANC's arrogance and refusal to address US concerns landed us in this mess. They're not wrong. The ANC's been so busy pushing their own narrative, dismissing Trump's gripes as misinformation, that they forgot to actually govern. And now, with sanctions potentially looming against ANC leaders under the US Magnitsky Act, which could freeze their assets and ban them from traveling to the US, they're starting to sweat. Imagine that. Our corrupt elite might finally face consequences. But don't hold your breath. They'll probably just find new ways to dodge accountability. Let's talk about those sanctions for a second. The idea that ANC bigwigs could lose their fancy US bank accounts and visa perks is almost too delicious to imagine. But here's the thing. Sanctions won't fix our problems. They'll hurt the little guy, farmers, factory workers, you and me, while the ANC elite squirrel their money away in Dubai or Moscow. And what about that Russian Navy ship? It's not just a training exercise, it's a message. The ANC's flirting with Putin because they're desperate, but aligning with Russia could drag us deeper into geopolitical quicksand. We're already on thin ice with the West. South Africa's been warned about its neutral stance on Ukraine. If we lean too hard into Russia's orbit, we risk more than just US tariffs. We could face EU sanctions or lose investor confidence entirely. Our economy's already shrinking. GDP growth was a pathetic 0.6% last year. How much more can we take? Here's where I get really cross. The ANC's had 30 years to sort out this country, and what do we have to show for it? Eskom's a disaster, with load shedding costing us 1 billion rands a day at its peak. Unemployment's over 32%. And youth unemployment's closer to 60%. Our roads are falling apart, our schools are failing, and our hospitals are a death trap for the poor. Yet Ramaphosa and his cronies have the gall to act surprised when the world calls them out. They've sold us out, plain and simple, and now we're paying the price for their failures. So, what's the way forward? We can't rely on the ANC to pull us out of this hole. They dug it. South Africa needs to diversify its trade, sure, but more than that, we need a government that actually gives a toss about its people. We need to hold these crooks accountable, demand transparency, and push for policies that create jobs, not destroy them. What do you reckon, folks? Are we doomed to keep circling the drain, or can South Africa rise above this? I want to hear your thoughts. Drop them in the comments below. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. It costs you nothing, and it helps us keep shining a light on this nonsense. If you're as fed up as I am, consider joining our channel membership or chucking us a super thanks donation to keep this going. Every bit helps, and trust me, we're not done ranting yet. So, where does this leave us? The ANC's scrambling, Trump's flexing, and Putin's lurking. South Africa can survive without the US, but it's going to be a rough ride. We've got options. China, India, the EU, maybe even deeper ties with Africa, but none of them are quick fixes. The real question is whether the ANC has the guts or the brains to pull it off. Spoiler alert, I wouldn't bet on it. Their track record's a disgrace, and their current moves, cozying up to Russia while the US turns the screws, smack of desperation, not strategy. We deserve better, South Africa. We deserve leaders who fight for us, not against us. So, let's keep the pressure on. Share this video, talk about it with your mates, and don't let the ANC's failures slide. Subscribe, like, comment, and let's keep this conversation going. Oh, and let those ads play for at least 30 seconds. It's a small way to support us without reaching into your wallet. Do it now, because if we don't stand up, who will?